Okay, question 1. The first three terms of Arithmetic Series are 5, 8 and 11. Write down the first term and the common difference. Okay, so for part A, what you got to remember is the first term. The first term is basically A, okay? So A equals, the first term is 5. The common difference is the gap between each one, so that's going to be 3. So D equals 3. Find an expression n for the n term of the sequence. So what we're going to use here is Tn. So Tn, so for part B, we're going to use Tn equals A, which is going to be 5, plus n minus 1, multiplied by whatever D is, and D is 3. Multiply them out, and what we're going to get is 5 plus 3n minus 3, and then we're going to get 2 plus 3n. Okay, part C, which term of the sequence is 62? What this means is that whatever sequence this is, Tn equals 62. Therefore, we know that Tn is 2 plus 3n equals 62. Bring the 2 over to your side, so 3n equals 62 minus 2. 3n equals 60. Therefore, n has to be equal to 20. It's the 20th term, okay? Okay, so next question. Next question is, in arithmetic series, T3 equals 11 and T7 equals 27. Okay, so what we're going to do for this one is we're going to go back up and use our common formula here, Tn. Okay, so what we can say about T3 is that T3 is A plus 3 minus 1 times D. T3 is A plus 2D. Likewise, T7 is when n equals 7. So T7 is A plus 7 minus 1 times D, which is A plus 6D. Now, what we have here is A plus 2D equals 11. A plus 6D equals 27. We have a simultaneous equation. In order to get rid of the simultaneous equation, what we can do is we need to make one of them negative, okay? So we need to get rid of the a's starting off, okay? So we need to find the value of the first term and the value of the common difference. So we need to find a and d. So I'm going to find out what d is first. So what I'm going to do is going to multiply everything here. Minus, that's going to become a minus, and this is going to become a minus. Going to add them down. Minus 2d plus 6d is plus 4d. 4d equals 27 minus 11, which is 16. Therefore, d is equal to 4. Okay, so d equals 4. And what we now have to find out is what a is. Okay, so a plus 2d equals 11. 2 times d is 8, so a plus 8 equals 11. This means that a has to be equal to 3. Okay, the next thing it asks us to do is find the sum of the first terms of the series. Okay, so remember, a is 3 and d is 4. It wants us to find the sum of the series. The sum of the series of the first 10 series is s of n. This means what are they all when they're all added together, okay? So if you imagine from this series, the numbers what we have is we have these numbers here, okay? So what we would have started off with, we would have started off with 3, and then we go up in 4. So we have 3, 7, 11, 15, 19, 23, 27, 31, 35, and 39. S of n is basically all of these added up together. But there's a quicker way of doing this. So all we have to do is write down the Sn formula. So we could add all these together to get the answer. But the way I'd like to do it is I'd like to put in dn. So n equals 10 for this, because it says the first 10 terms. So it's going to be 10 over 2. Brackets, so that's n over 2 is 10 over 2. 10 over 2 is 5. Okay, so it's going to be 5 into 2a. So 2a is 2 multiplied by 3, which is 6. So 2a is 2 multiplied by 3. And then this one here is plus, it's 10 minus 1 times d, because it's 10 minus 1 times d. So it's going to be 6 plus 9d. There's going to be 9d, and we know that d is 4, so 9d is 36. So it's going to be 6 plus 36, and that gets you 42. So it's going to be 5 multiplied by 42, and the answer there is going to be 210. Okay? So basically, when you add the first 10 terms together, so when you add all these numbers together, you'll get 210. Okay? Next one. The first two terms of arithmetic series are 5, 0. Find the common difference. The common difference is minus 5, because it goes from 0 to 5. Find Tn, okay, so what we know is, we know that A equals 5, and D equals minus 5, okay? So all we got to do here is we got to just get our formula, and we got to choose which one we're going to use. So we're going to use Tn. This means what the term is, okay, the nth term. So Tn equals A, which is 5, plus n minus 1 times minus 5, okay? And what we're going to get here is n times minus 5 is 5 minus 5n, minus 1 multiplied by minus 5 is plus 5. So what we're going to get, Tn is 10 minus 5n. Okay, so it's 10 minus 5n. And for part B, we got to find T10. T10 basically means replace n with 10. So we're going to get T10 is 10 minus 5 times 10, which is 10 minus 50. T10 is going to be minus 40. Okay. Next one, the matchsticks. Okay, so we're just going to quickly count up the matchsticks. The first one's counting first, which is 8. So that means that's 8 to there. That's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so the first one is 15. Okay, so it's 15 to this point here. So the next one's going to be 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So we can see that it's going up in sevens. So the fourth one's going to be 29, and the fifth one's going to be 36. It's an arithmetic series because there's a constant gap between each one. So the gap is always 7, okay? So find expression for Tn. Okay, so once again we're looking for Tn. And what we're going to do with Tn is we're just going to use the formula for Tn here. These are available in your tables, okay? So we're going to look for Tn. So what we know is that A is 8, because A is the first term, it's 8. The common difference is 7. And now we're going to use the Tn formula, okay? So Tn therefore is, and this is part B, Tn is A, which is 8, plus n minus 1 times D, which is 7. Going to multiply in 7, so we're going to get 8 plus 7n minus 7. And what we're going to get is 1 plus 7n. So Tn is 1 plus 7n, or 7n plus 1. Okay, next part. How many sticks are there in shape 12? Shape 12 means n equals 12. So n equals 12, or it's looking for T12. Okay. So T12. T12 means replace n with 12. It's going to be 1 plus 7 times 12. And that's going to get you 85. Okay. So that's 85. Next one. D. Find the sum of all the sticks used in the first 20 shapes. Keyword is find the sum. Find the sum is S of n. Okay. So what we need to do here, need to rub this out for a second, and we're going to do part D in red, and part D means S of n, so we have to use this formula here, which is S of n, okay, and we have to do it for the first 20 shapes, okay. So S of n basically means we got to find out what S20 is, okay. So to find out what S20 is, we got to replace n with 20, n gets replaced with 20, A gets replaced with 8, and D gets replaced with 7. Okay, so it's going to be S20 is going to be 20 over 2 into 2A. 2 multiplied by A is 16, plus n minus 1 times D. n minus 1 is basically 20 minus 1. 20 minus 1 is 19. Okay, and it's going to be 19 multiplied by the difference, which is 7. Okay, so you're going to take out your calculator next and do this. Okay, so what we're going to get is it's going to be 10 multiplied by 16 plus 19 times 7. And that's 149. And then 10 times 149 is 1490. Okay, and we know that's correct. So next one. Okay, now an arithmetic series sequence is 864. Okay, so what we know is going to come next is going to be 2, 0. We know that a equals 8 and the difference is minus 2. Okay, so that's the first part done. That's part A done. Now we're on part B. Find the expression for the nth term of the sequence. We paste in our formula, and what we're looking for is t of n. So all we gotta do next is put in what's basically what tn is. Okay, so the nth term of the sequence. Okay, so tn. So what we're gonna get is tn equals a plus n minus 1 times d. So a is 8 plus n minus 1 multiplied by the common difference, which is minus 2. Now we're going to multiply them out. So we're going to get 8 minus 2n plus 2. And what we're going to get is 10 minus 2n. Tn is 10 minus 2n. Okay. So 10 minus 2n. Now, which term of the sequence is minus 20? To find out which term of the sequence is minus 20, what we know is that Tn, and this is for part C, Tn equals minus 20. So therefore, 10 minus 2n equals minus 20. Bring the 10 over the other side and we get minus 2n equals, turns to minus 10. Minus 20 minus 10 is minus 30. Multiply both sides by minus, so we know that 2n equals 30. And then what we can finally say is that n must equal 30 divided by 2. N equals 15th. It's the 15th term. Okay? So the 15th term, which term of the sequence is minus 20? The answer is the 15th term. Okay? Now, next question. Write down the formula for Sn, the sum of n terms of an arithmetic series. So the formula for Sn, I already have it on here. All we gotta do to answer the first part is write down this here. Okay, that's what Sn is. Okay, the common difference of this set is 3, so D equals 3. S8 is 132. Wants us to do is find, the sum of n terms of arithmetic series. The common difference of the series is 3, and S8 equals 132. We don't know what A is. So what we need to do is we need to fill out this equation as best we can. So we know that n must equal 8 because it's not Sn, it's S8. So let's fill this out. Okay, so S8 is equal to n over 2, which is going to be 8 over 2. 2a, we don't know what a is, so we have to leave it as 2a, plus n minus 1 times d. It's going to be 8 minus 1. Okay, and we know that 8 minus 1 is 7. Okay, so it's going to be 7 times d, and we know that d is 3, close bracket, and we know that all of this has to be equal to 132. So the next step is to multiply it out, so we get 4 times 2a plus 21 equals 132. Now, what we're doing next is we're going to multiply this out. So when we multiply this out, we get 8a plus 84 equals 132. 132 minus 84 is 48. So 8a, bring all the 84 over the other side. When you bring the 84 over the other side, it comes minus 84. And cancel that there. And now we know that 8a must be equal to 48. Therefore a equals 48 divided by 8. A must therefore be equal to 6. Okay, so a equals 6. Okay, so now that we know that a equals 6, what we can do next is a equals 6, and we now need to find out what is the first three terms, okay, of the series, okay. So the first three terms of the series are as follows, the first three terms, okay. So we know that A is 6, add on 3, the second one is 9, and the third one is 12. So it's going to be 6, 9, and 12. Okay. Next thing we want us to find out is find out what T24 is. So we need to find out what T of n is, okay. So this time n is going to be 24. N equals 24, and we want to find out what T24 is. Okay, so T24, that basically means replace n with 24. So A is 6, n minus 1 is 24 minus 1, and we know that D is 3. So it's going to be 6 plus 23 times 3, and 23 times 3 is 69. So 6 plus 69 equals 75. So T24 is 75. The 24th term of the sequence is 75. Okay. Next one. The nth term of arithmetic series is given by 12 minus 4n. Find the first term and the common difference. Okay. Now the thing to remember is about arithmetic series, just replace in values for n. Okay. So the first one is find out what T1 is. Okay. So for T1, n equals 1. For T2, n equals 2. And for T3, n equals 3. Okay, so what we can find out from this is the following. Okay, we can replace it in n. So 12 minus 4 times 1, and that equals 8. The next one is 12 minus 4 times 2, and this here is going to give you 4. And then the last one is 12 minus 4 times 3, and that's going to get 0. So A equals 8, and as you can see, the common difference between each one is got to be D equals minus 4. Which term of the sequence is minus 64? So Tn equals 12 minus 4n, and this has to equal minus 64. Bring the 12 over the other side, and what we're going to get is minus 4n equals minus 64 minus 12. Minus 4n equals minus 76. And 76 divided by 4. Okay, so 4n, multiply both sides by minus 1 equals 76. N equals 76 over 4. N is going to be equal to 19. Okay, so that's that one done there. Next one. Okay, a pattern is shown below. Copy and complete this table. So we know there's 8 in the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's look at the next one, okay? We know that there's 8 to this point here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's go 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So there's 13 in the second one. Okay, so we know to this point here there's 13. Okay, so that's that point gone. That's all just 13 there. Okay, just 2 of them. Now we're going to add, that's 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So basically 5 is being added on each time. Okay, so so 5 is added on to each one, so that's going to be 23, and the next one's going to be 28. So 23 and 28. Copy and complete the table above. Just done that. We're now on part B. Find the expression for the nth term of the sequence formed by the number of matches required in successive pattern. We know it's an arithmetic series because the gap is always the same. Okay, so because the gap is always the same, it's got to be an arithmetic series. So what we do here is we're going to put down, we're going to find out what Tn is. We know that A equals 8 because it's the first term, and we know that the difference is 5. So what we can say is that Tn equals A, which is 8, plus n minus 1 times the difference, that is 5. Multiply them out, and we get 8 plus 5n minus 5. and that equals 3 plus 5n, or 5n plus 3, okay? So Tn equals, okay? Now, so required, that's that one done. Part C, how many matches would there be in shape 20? Shape 20 is T20, n equals 20. So all we got to do is replace n with 20, so 3 plus 5 multiplied by 20, because Tn is 5 multiplied by n, so it's going to be 103 matches, okay? And finally, find the sum of all the matches used in the first 12 shapes. Sum, keyword, sum of all the matches means we're going to be using Sn, and we're going to find out what S12 is, okay? So what we can do next is just rub this out, and all we got to do is do part D, which I'll do in blue. And part D, basically it wants to find the first 12 shapes. So n equals 12, a equals 8, d equals 5. Let's fill out. So S12 equals n over 2, just 12 over 2. 2 multiplied by a is 8, so 2a is 16, plus n minus 1 times d, which is going to be 12 minus 1, which is 11, and d is 5. Then all we got to do is multiply this out, so that's 6 on the outside. Put this part into your calculator. 16 plus probably plus 55 there is going to get you 71, so it's going to be 6 times 71, 6 times 71, and you're going to get 426. So the answer for the first 12 series is 426. Which one of the following series is arithmetic, right? So our arithmetic series. The first gap is 2, the second gap is 4. The gap is changing, so this one is not an arithmetic series. This one here goes to 3 to minus 1, so it goes minus 4, then it goes up plus 4. That is not an arithmetic series because the gap is not the same. This one here, however, it goes up plus 2 on the first one, plus 2 on the second one, and plus 2 on the third one. This one here is the arithmetic series. Its first term is minus 5, and its common difference is 2. Find T4 of this arithmetic series. So arithmetic series of this arithmetic series. So we need to find Tn. So let's fill in what Tn says. Tn says a, which is minus 5, plus n minus 1 times d, which is going to be n minus 1 times 2. Multiply 2 in here, and what you get is minus 5 plus 2n minus 2, and what I'm going to get is 2n minus 7. Tn is 2n minus 7. Okay. Now, what it says about this one is it's a quadratic sequence, okay? Now, when we're doing a quadratic sequence, we got to make sure we know we have to do two differences, okay? So we're going to write down 8, 15, 26, 41, and 60, okay? And what we got to remember about quadratic sequences is that we got to write the general expression is an squared plus bn plus c. And the first thing we want to write down is what a is, okay? So to find out what a is, we need to find out what the second difference is, and then we got to half the second difference. So the first difference is 7, the second difference is 11, the third difference is 15, and the fourth difference is 19. That's the first difference. Now we're going to do the second difference in blue. 4, 4, and 4. So what we need to do is we need to half 4 to find out what the a value is, okay? So when you half 4, the answer is 2. So a equals 2. So what we now know about Tn is that Tn is 2n squared plus bn plus c. Now what we also know is that T1 equals 8 and T2 equals 15. So what we need to do next is we need to find out what we need to insert n equals 1 in for T1. So T1 equals 2 times 1 squared plus b times 1 plus c, and this equals 8. So we're going to get 2 plus b plus c equals 8. The 2 can go over the other side and turn into a minus 2. So now we know that b plus c must equal 6. Okay. The next one we got to do is T2. And when we're doing T2, do this in green. T2 means n equals 2. And remember, this is first equation of a simultaneous equation. So T2 is 2 times 2 squared plus b times 2 plus c equals 15. We know that this here is going to be 8 plus 2b plus c equals 15. Bring the 8 over the other side. It goes minus 8 on the other side, so our answer here should be 2b plus c equals 7. So 2b plus c equals 7. Now, we got to highlight these two equations, and now we're going to do a simultaneous equation over here in blue, okay? So we're going to use the 2b plus c equals 7. And what we're also going to do then is we're going to use the b plus c, but we're going to multiply that by minus 1. So this one here is going to get multiplied by minus 1 to make it negative. So we're going to get minus b minus c equals minus 6. And then what we're going to get here is b equals 1. And if b equals 1, we know that b plus c equals 6. So if b is 1, c must be 5. Okay, so c equals 5. Now, what we said earlier was that Tn, and remember a is 2, it was worked out above. Okay, so a is 2. So we know that Tn, we just take this part here. Okay. Just cut and paste it down, excuse me. Okay, so we know that Tn, the general term, is an squared plus bn plus c. And what we now know about this is that an is 2n squared. We know that bn is 1n. And we know that c is 5. So 2n squared plus n plus 5. Okay. Now, next part. In our arithmetic series, the first term is 9 and the common difference is 4. Find the nth term of the sequence and write down the value of T10. Okay, so we'll just select this part here, our formulas. We always need our formulas to do our equations. Okay, so it says it's the arithmetic series. You can look this up in your tables. First term is 9. A equals 9. D equals 4. Tn is this one here. Write down the value of T10. So Tn is A, which is 6 plus n minus 1 times d. D is 4. Going to multiply them out, and we're going to get 9 plus 4n minus 4. And we're going to get 9 minus 4 is 5. 5 plus 4n. So that's what Tn equals, okay? Now, we're also asked to find out what T10 is. For T10, n equals 10. It's the 10th term. So we're going to get 5 plus 4 times 10. This equals 5 plus 40, which is the 45th one. 45, I mean, 45. So basically, if you were to draw this out, 9 is the first term. You add on 4 each time, so 14, 17, 21, 25, 29, 33, 37, 41, and 45. We can see that 45 is the 10th one in line. Okay. Next part. Arithmetic series T10 is 19 and S10 is 55. Write down the formula for Tn and Sn of an arithmetic series. Okay, so that's part A just done there. You just need to look up your tables and write down the two formulas, okay? Find the first term and common differences. So we're looking for A and D. So let's write down the information we have. T10. T10 means use the T formula. N equals 10, and we don't know anything else. So N equals A plus, it's going to be 10 minus 1, which is 9D, A plus 9D. Okay, that's the first formula. And we know that this has to be equal to 19. The second formula we're going to use is the S formula. And for the S formula, we know that N equals 10, and we know that Sn equals 55. So what we can say is that S10 equals N over 2, which is going to be 10 over 2, times 2A. Now N minus 1 is 10 minus 1, which is 9D. So 2A plus 9D, close bracket, and all this has to be equal to 55. So what we know next is that 10 over 2 is 5, so it's 5 multiplied by 2A plus 9D, and that equals 55. And what we can say next is just multiply that out, and we get 10A plus 45D equals 55. And there's our second simultaneous equation. So we actually have two simultaneous equations. First one, and this one here is the second one, okay, which is S10. Now, use both these simultaneous equations together. A plus 9D equals 19. 10A plus 45D equals 55. Okay, so we're going to choose a letter to get rid of. I'm actually going to get rid of the A's starting off. So I need to multiply the top one by minus 10. Okay, because I need to have this as minus 10A. So multiply the top one by minus 10, and we get minus 10A minus 90D equals minus 190. The bottom one's going to be 10A plus 45D equals 55. Then add them downwards. The A's will cancel each other off. I get minus 45D equals minus 135. And now we know that 45D must equal 135. D equals 135 divided by 45. D equals 3. Okay, so D equals 3. Now that we know that D equals 3, we can now use one of these formulas. We're going to use T10. So we know that A, this formula here, A plus 9D equals 19. And what we know about D is that D is 3. So it's A plus 9 multiplied by 3 is 19. A plus 27 equals 19. Bring over the 27 on the other side. A equals 19 minus 27. A equals minus 8. Okay, so A is minus 8. And D is 3. Okay, and that is that question answered. Okay, now question 7. The first two terms of arithmetic series is 2, 8 and 14. We know that the gap is 6, so this means that the next one should be plus 20 plus 26. Okay, so find the common difference. D equals 6 is the common difference. Okay, find T of n, the nth term of the series. Just paste this in here. So we know that Tn is going to be the nth term of the sequence, so Tn ends up to be A plus n minus 1 times D. So we know that A is 2 because it's the first term. Okay, so we're going to get 2 plus n minus 1 times 6. This is part B. Multiply it out. And we're going to get 2 plus 6n minus 6. And we're going to get 6n minus 4 for Tn. Now C. Find the value of n such that Tn equals 200. So Tn equals 200. So therefore 6n minus 4 equals 200. Bring the 4 over the other side. 6n equals 204. And then all you have to do is divide 204 by 6. And it's 34. Okay, so n equals 204 divided by 6. It's the 34th term. So 34 numbers, the 34th number gives you 200. Okay, find the sum of the first 20 terms. What that is looking for is this one here, and it's looking for S20. So n equals 20 for this one. So we'll do this one in blue. Okay. So blue, D, S20. So S20, n equals 20, A equals 2, and D equals 6. So what we're going to get is n over 2, which is going to be 20 divided by 2, because n is 20. 2a, so 2 multiplied by a, 2 times 2 is 4, plus n minus 1 times d, so it's going to be 20 minus 1 multiplied by 6, which is going to be 19 multiplied by 6. Just put that into your calculator quickly. 19 multiplied by 6 is 114. All we gotta do now is just calculate this. It's going to be 10. 20 divided by 2 is 10. 10 multiplied by 118. It's going to be 1180. So the sum of the first 20 terms is going to be 1180. Okay, next one. Here are the first 3 diagrams of a matchstick pattern. How many matchsticks will be in diagram 4? So let's count. 1, 2, 3. That's grand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This one's 8. Then we have the first 2 is 8. So then we have 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15. So we have 3, 8, and 15. Now what we can readily identify is that it's not an arithmetic series, okay? Because basically it's going up too fast, okay? So it's not an arithmetic series. So we're gonna have to do it's more likely a quadratic series, okay? Now if you remember from the quadratic series, we get t of n is an squared plus bn plus c. And we got to figure out what the first difference is. So the first difference between the two of these is going to be 5. This one's going to be 7. Then the second difference, so we're going to recognize that the next difference is going to be 9. It's going to go up by 9. So the fourth one is going to be 24. Okay, so 24 matches. So we know that diagram 4 is going to have 24 matches. Using the sequence form, write down the number of matchsticks in diagram 5. Diagram 5 is going to have a gap of 11, so that's going to move up to 35. So diagram 5 is going to be 35. Okay, explain why the sequence is quadratic. The sequence is quadratic because the first differences aren't the same. It goes up 2 each time, but the second differences are constant. The second differences are 2, and that's a constant. Okay. Find the expression for the nth term of the sequence. So we have to find out what t of n is, okay? So remember what we said about t of n. T of n is an squared plus bn plus c. We know that a is half of the common difference, so half of 2. And half of 2 is 1. So it's going to be 1n squared plus bn plus c. Okay? And what we know is that t1 is 3 and t2 is 8. So t1 equals 3, t2 equals 8. So this is where n equals 1, and for the second one n equals 2. So let's put them in. So t1 is going to be 1 squared, or 1 multiplied by 1 squared, plus b times 1 plus c, and that equals 3. So we're going to get 1 plus b plus c equals 3. Then we're going to get b plus c. This 1 here comes a minus 1 out the other side, so b plus c equals 2. Next we're going to have to find out is t2. t2 is going to be 2 squared plus b times 2 plus c, and that's all going to equal 8. Multiply it out, you're going to get 4 plus 2b plus c equals 8. Move the 4 over the other side. becomes a minus 4, and then we're going to get 2b plus c equals 4. What we have now is a quadratic equation with these two equations here. Okay, so these two equations here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the top equation, or the first equation, by minus. Okay, so everything here is going to be multiplied by minus, so we're going to get minus b minus c equals minus 2. And then once I do that, I can add them together downwards, and I'm going to get b equals, the c's will cancel, b equals 2. I now know that b equals 2. I also know that b plus c equals 2. Therefore c has to be equal to 0, because b is already 2. So therefore t of n, which is an squared plus bn plus c, that's going to be equal to n squared plus 2n, and that's what tn is. Okay, so it's n squared plus 2n. Now we know that t squared, or tn, is n squared plus 2n. Use the n term to find the number of matchsticks in diagram 10. In diagram 10, n equals 10, so therefore it's going to be 10 squared plus 2 times 10, and that should leave us with 100 plus 20, which is 120 matchsticks. So the answer for this one's 120. Okay, and that's the end of this video. 41 minutes.